Everybody, hope you're doing well. Good to see you all back here again this week and ready for another mindful movement session. So yeah, let's begin, seeing as it's 3 minutes past the hour. And if we could start by just getting yourself into a nice comfortable position wherever you are, nice and relaxed, and whenever you're ready, so you can start some breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and continue that there. In your own time, your own breath, just nice, relaxed breathing. And whenever you're ready to, you can close down those eyes at the same time. As you breathe in, notice how it affects your body, how it comes into your lungs, inflates the chest, lifts it slightly, how that oxygen goes around the body. And as you breathe out, notice how it affects your body as you breathe out too. So noticing how your shoulders relax, noticing how the chest comes down slightly as you do so, your back slightly rounds. Just notice your body and how the breath is affecting it. See if there's any other ways it's being affected at the same time, any little nuances, whether that's in your face, shoulders, arms, hands, wherever it may be. Just notice how you're breathing is affecting your body. Now we're in a more relaxed state. Let's thank ourselves for turning up today, for being here, being committed to this session, and reminding ourselves that we don't need to worry about what's come before us today or what we're doing after the session. All we need to focus on now is the next hour here. Focus on our breathing, focus on our movement, focus on staying focused essentially on each individual bit that we do today. And the more we can stay focused through the session, the more we get from it, which is what we want. We want to make this time efficient and effective at the same time. Again, thank yourself for being here today if you haven't already. And let's continue that breathing there. But as you breathe in, we can shrug our shoulders up. As you breathe out, relax it down. Whenever you're ready to, you can open up your eyes again if you feel comfortable with doing so. Or if you want to keep them closed, you can also keep them closed. But as you breathe in, shrug up, squeeze those shoulders. As you breathe out, relax down. Squeeze the shoulders, get some tension in there, and as you breathe out, release all of that tension, bringing those shoulders down the best you can. Yeah, we're going to do a similar thing here, but what we're going to do is do it as a circle with the shoulders. So you bring Shoulders up, round, squeeze, and then down. I'll come to the side so you can see easier from there. So similar things, doing our shoulder rotations, but squeezing at the top, relaxing down. And if you're not already, you can link your breathing in still. So breathe in as you bring them up. Create that tension as you go around, and breathe out as you push down. Okay, let's change direction with this. It's fine if you feel a bit clunky during this, but as long as it's not painful. If it is painful, just back it off slightly in those areas. We'll just go for a good range of motion. The best you can. Okay, let's continue to loosen those shoulders up a bit, and we'll take our hands on our shoulders and let's just go around the best we can. As always, if you can't do both arms, you can just do one arm. Or if you can do both arms, but doing them at the same time is a bit tricky, we can go one arm round and then the other arm round. Let's do them alternating. You can always do both around together as well. That's easier. Just whatever works for you, have a play around. As long as you're getting good range of motion on here, that's the main thing. And that good range of motion is going to look different for everybody. So whatever you can do here, that's what you need to do. Change direction. Work. Okay, we're going to go through our ones where we start with our hands up by our armpits area, shoulder area, push forwards with one hand, and then bring it back. Then with the other hand, push forwards, bring it back. As you push out, breathe out. As you breathe in, pull it back in. Switching hands over. If you can, keep our hands up here, like the other one's resting here, as you're pushing the other one out and forwards. But if you can't, you just need to rest. You can always put the other hand on the lap, push it forwards, bring it back, and you can switch over. Whichever way you do it, nice, smooth motions with those hands. So it's not, you're not trying to be like a robot here. We're trying to be as smooth and as gentle with the movements as you can be. Push out, bring back. And start to extend that a little bit more. So reach forwards, bring your head down as well if you can, bringing it back. And again, if you need to lean on your lap as you do so, so you can stretch that a little bit further, that's fine. But you can always give your core a little challenge at the same time if you want to by reaching forwards and not leaning on. But it's not essential. Just if you want to add that in, feel free to do so. I like to lean on there for this. I haven't got quite the core function to do it without holding on. Apart from if I reach out and then I spasm, that comes straight back up anyway. So just reaching forward as best you can. Now as you reach forwards, stretch forwards the best you can. We come up, over the top, and out behind us. Again, reaching forwards, up and over, and down. If you can't get up and over the head, just get to where you can. So if that's sort of a bit of a diagonal there, or across horizontally, wherever you can get to, just do the best range of motion that you can. And that's what this is all about. It's getting good range of motion in that shoulder joint, taking it through what it's comfortable, but what it's also able to do as well at the same time. Yeah, I'm gonna do one more on each arm. And one on each arm again. You can start to push out to the side this time. So same as we did before, but instead of forwards, out to the side. And again, you've got options here. You can keep both hands up the whole time, or if you need to, you can hold on with the opposite hand, or just rest it on the lap, whatever feels comfortable for you here. The main focus is the breathing with the linking with the arms and making it nice and smooth. But that being able to keep your hands up, that just adds a little second objective in there if you can do it, which is just to use the core to support yourself. Yeah, now as we reach out, extend a little bit more. And again, you may need to hold on for this one. Just go to the side. I've got very long arms, so don't quite fit in the room. They don't make houses like they do in America. You've got a lot more space than they do in Japan. I think the average height and wingspan might be a bit different as well, so that might contribute a little bit to it. But Okay, let's extend that a little bit more. So reach out to the side, then up, over the top, and then down towards the opposite side. And as always with this, it's imagine like you're bringing the seatbelt over and clipping it in down to the side of you. Okay, we're going to continue some shoulder mobility stuff here by just doing like we usually do for our warm-ups for our other bits and pieces, but we're going to do nice and slow, big circle round the best you can here. Which is nice, slow, controlled, big circle.
Does it matter if I turn while I'm doing the shoulder, like turn around?
So as you turn, obviously it moves the socket of the ball and socket around. So you do get less range of motion, but at the same time, it's how your body naturally works as well. So if it feels comfortable to do so, I don't see an issue with it. As long as you're still getting good range of motion, and you can really usually feel that when you get a bit of a stretch in. I feel like going through what is a natural range of motion anyway, natural movements is absolutely fine. We can focus on stretching when we do stretching. On this, it's all about just getting good range or as best you can. So yeah, whatever feels comfortable for you. And it's very difficult not to do that anyway, like your body naturally wants to do it. So let it do what it naturally wants to do. And with that same arm, let's go the opposite way around. Again, nice, slow, controlled movements. And let's change over to the other arm and get that one going around nice and slowly. And with that same arm, let's go the opposite way around. work. And the reason we've been doing all this shoulder mobility and doing that is that we're going to do some stretches. But when it comes to stretches, it's always good to warm up before we do so. Get the blood flowing, get everything moving. That's going to help to do a safer stretch and a better overall efficient stretch. So I'm going to go through some of those now. And we're going to start with our lats, which are the big muscles on our back. And to do that, what we just do, take one arm and reach over to the side the best we can and stretch out. If you can't have your arm up above your head, then just get to where you can, if that's across your face, across your chin, chest, but wherever you can get as up as high as you can with it, and you're going to get more of a stretch in there. If you can feel it, you'll be able to feel it sort of at the back of your armpit area. That's the area it focuses on there, but holding that stretch there. And we're going roughly for about 30 seconds on each one, so I'm roughly counting in my head. Got about 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, ease out a bit, then up and over to the other side, and again, stretching there. And about 10 more seconds. Ease out a bit, over to the first side again. We'll do one more on each side. One more second. Ease out a bit, over to the other side. And this is the last one for these lat stretches. Seconds. Ease out to it there. Good. Okay, let's move into our next stretch here, which is going to be in our rotator cuffs. So those are the little muscles inside our shoulder capsules that help with shoulder rotation and stability. And we're going to stretch them by having the elbow up high, and then you go like you're doing a thumbs up, and you're going to rotate that back, so you're pointing that thumb behind you there, just like so. And then if you get it in the right position, you'll feel the stretch deep within that shoulder joint. If you can't hold your arm up here for the full 30 seconds that we do, you can always rest it down lower. You just get a little bit more of an intense stretch up there. Again, we're going to go for 30 seconds. If you need to put your arm down and back up during this, feel free to do so. Just trying to hold that the best you can. I saw a baseball player doing this stretch before, and their arm is like way back. I was like, I've never seen anybody able to do that before. So everyone's got good range of motion, good physiotherapy on their shoulders to make sure they can both throw it hard, fast, but also to keep it as safe as they can, because they want a long career. Okay, easing out of that, let's go over to the other side. Give this- And what I mean by how good their range of motion was, like most of our arms are vertical here. Theirs were like this, but they were upright, and leaning back to be able to get into that position. It's pretty crazy. And they need that range of motion because the further they can get their arm back, the more distance the ball travels before it leaves their hand, so they can build a lot more speed, a lot more power into their throw. So if they can be strong for a longer range of motion, they're able to essentially accelerate that ball a lot faster. Let's ease out of it there. Good, back over to the first side again. And now we don't necessarily need to be as strong or as fast as a fast pitcher, but having that good range of motion helps us with daily activities as well, to keep our shoulders safe, to keep them strong. So if you're pushing a manual wheelchair, or if you're reaching for stuff, if you've got a load of kids that you need to pick up and carry around, whatever it may be, we all have different things that we need to do in our life, and having that range of motion is really going to help to keep us as safe as we can as we do these things. Again, if you need to rest your arm down, you can do that and still do the stretch, just keep it rotated. Ease out of that, over to the other side again for the last one. And about 10 more seconds. So there. Good. Let's give that a little shake out. And let's have a little hydration break while we're at it as well. Good start to the session though, so far, everybody. Good range of motion, good focusing, excellent work. And last week, I mentioned before, while we were just having a break, it was my birthday last week and I had a great day. I went to the zoo, as they've got pandas here at the zoo, and I've never seen a panda in my life before. So I went to see a giant panda, and you get to go along and you get 1 minute at one station, then move along, you get 1 minute at the next station, then you're off. So you go, then you have to go back through the queue again. We went to the first station, panda's just in front of the mirror, right in front of the glass eating its bamboo. Got to the second one, wandered off, had a poo, fell asleep, and then we went off. I was like, I've got the full panda experience in 2 minutes. That's like, this is their life. Just they eat, they poo, and they sleep. That's it. There's I got, yeah, the full panda experience in 2 minutes. So it was
Where are you? What
Uh,
country are you in?
I'm in Tokyo in Japan.
Ah.
So yeah, it's I don't think we have zoo pandas in the zoo in the UK, as far as I'm aware anyway. They're not that common, I don't think, around the world, but I think you guys have got some in one. I don't know which zoo it is, but I know you have in one of your zoos you do.
San Diego has a couple of them.
There you go. Thank you, Jeff. But I think they're only in like maybe 4, maybe 5 countries around the world or something in various zoos. So yeah, it was pretty good to see that. So very exciting for myself. Anyway, enough about me and my birthday last week. Let's get back to it, seeing as everybody's had their hydration break. and we can get on with some spinal mobility next. So we've done some stretches in our shoulders, we've done some movement beforehand. Let's go through the rest of our spine and the body here. So we'll start with some flexion, extension through the neck by simply looking up, looking down, and remembering here, it's not just look up, look down, it's trying to curl a bit as you go down, and then trying to curl a little bit as you go up. Remembering our spine is like a slinky almost. You don't want to just bend one ring round. You want to have each little bit curling just a little bit. So if you can just try and imagine that as you do so. Or you can try and picture what your spine will look like inside you. We've all seen the doctor's skeletons, or if you have a biology class at school, you got the spine going down. So just imagine it curling, just each vertebrae curling just a little bit over as you look down, and as you look up, imagining it arching back just a little bit as well. And the more you can picture that as you're doing it, the better you'll be able to do at that connection between your mind and your muscle and your bones. And you'll be able to get into these positions a little bit more effectively. Also having that understanding as you're moving, what is happening to your body as you're doing it. So the vertebrae are coming over, how the muscles are moving, how everything's moving. That gives you a good mind muscle connection. But it's also a good mindfulness tool as well. You're not just going through motions, you're understanding why those motions are happening. You're having a deeper connection with yourself and your body. And that can help with lots of different things. In the short term, it helps with relaxation, helps with anxiety, stress control, all of that kind of stuff. And when we do it frequently in the short term, it can help us a lot in the long term as well. Where you next find yourself looking down, we're just going to hold that position and just let gravity do its work on your neck there by just stretching out just a little bit. You're not going to feel it a massive amount here probably, but just let it do its thing. And ease out of it, do some looking up and looking down for a couple. And the next time you find yourself looking up, holding that position there. And feeling a bit of a stretch. Remember, we can increase that stretch first of all by keeping the mouth closed. And then if you want to increase it more, put one hand on the top of the sternum and slightly pull down until you find that spot which feels like it's getting that stretch in. And in this position, you can move your head side to side a little bit to increase stretch in one side or the other. Play around what feels good. You may find that one side has a bit more tightness than the other. Yes, Liz. So you put your like.
I've been sticking my chin out too when I put my head up. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I should not do that, or that's okay.
Yeah, no, I do that. I naturally have a bit of an underbite on my, so mine naturally does anyway, a little bit. But yeah, you can stick the chin out a little bit, you get a bit more of a stretch, but just have a play around as always. Like, I find, for example, if I look to the right slightly, I get a little bit of a stretch, but if I look to the left slightly, that stretches even more, so I know that either the way I'm eating, the way I'm sat or something, I'm just getting a little bit more tightness on one side than the other. And again, having that understanding between your mind and what's happening in your body can give you some clues as to just what's happening in your body, really, and that connection between the two. And that's exactly why these sessions are called mindful movement, because it's all about moving mindfully. So ease out of that there, and let's now go into some rotation. So looking from one side round to the other, back and forth between the two. And the more we do these sessions, as you guys have been here very consistently, which is great, but the more we do these types of sessions, the better connection you have with the body. You're just doing it on a more frequent basis. It's the same as any type of training. Except for this, it's not just a movement training, it's also that mindfulness training as well. Okay, next time you find yourself looking to the left, holding it there. And if you want to increase that stretch, we could take one hand just above the collarbone and then pull sort of the skin is kind of the best way to say it, but we're kind of putting the skin and the muscle at the same time, down onto the collarbone, sort of towards that armpit area there. And have a play around with it as well. You may find that different areas do it better. I'm going to come in a little bit closer to show you as well. It will be a little bit blurry, but I'll do my best to show you. So rotate it around to the left side. The right hand's coming on here, and I'm sort of dragging that down onto the collarbone and increasing that stretch a little bit. Change the area here. Different parts of that collarbone, because it runs all the way along from the sternum up to the shoulder. You can find it stretches just slightly different little bits. I know, for example, if I come in close, I get a good stretch all the way up, but if I go in a little bit further out, I get a way more deep stretch nearer the collarbone. So just have a little bit of a play if that's comfortable for you to do so. If not, you don't have to do that part. We can just stay looking to the side. And then let's ease out a bit. So we look side to side again. Yeah, and the next time you find yourself looking to the right, hold it there. If you just want to hold it there, that's fine. If you want to increase that stretch a bit more with that collarbone hold, we can do that. And again, from here, we can move our head slightly. And with all these movements and all these things that I say, if there's any point that you feel like, oh, I just need to adjust it slightly, that's absolutely fine. Remember, this is your session. I'm just here to give you guidance as we go through it. So if it's like, oh, this one's good, but if I just do this little movement, I get a bit more of a stretch or just feel it a little bit better in that area, whatever it may be. Remember, each one of us is different. Our bodies work differently. We work them in different ways, so that makes some areas stronger, some areas weaker. So just follow on the best you can, but don't be afraid to make choices that help you. Okay, let's ease out of that one, reduce some looking side to side. And then let's go into one ear to one shoulder, one ear to the other shoulder, and back and forth between the two. already start to feel a bit of a stretch as you go through this as well, because these are usually a bit tighter. But the next time you find your left ear on your left shoulder, let's hold it there. And option number one is just to hold it there the best you can. We can always drop one hand down, put it down the best we can, and then come around. Your next option is to bring that hand behind you and increase that stretch more. And as always, I'll turn around so you can see it from behind. So left ear to the left shoulder, right hand comes down, or it comes behind us here. Increasing that stretch however you can. Easing out a bit. Let's do a couple of lefts and rights. And the next time you find your right ear on your right shoulder, and hold that position there. Drop the left hand down, increase that stretch more, or bring it behind you, whatever feels good for you. Again, we can play around here with our neck position. We can hook it down a little bit forwards, bring it back, rotate it a little bit more, whatever it feels like you're getting a good stretch or comfortable. So then, and then doing a couple lefts and rights just to ease out of it, nice and gentle. And give ourselves a little wiggle if you want to. I always find after doing the deep stretch in the neck, I just need that little bit more movement before I go on to anything else. Okay, let's go through the rest of our spine now. We'll just go through the mobility parts on this first one. So we go, well, my spasms are so you guys already know the drill. We started, which is great. Going through extension, flexion, and back and forth between the two. Let's go into some rotation now. So rotate around one side, around to the other, and back and forth between the two. See my hands flapping around is because there's a mosquito in the room and I'm trying to swat it away. It's not part of the exercises. Yeah, when you find yourself going around to the right, let's just hold it there for a little bit. And let's increase that stretch a little bit more through that spine. You can use your hands to support you here as well. Then ease out of it. Do it again, left and right a couple of times. And then the next time you find yourself rotated to the right, let's hold it there. You ease out of it to a couple of lefts and rights just to ease out, and then we can move into our lateral flexion, which is bending down to one side, down to the other. He's back again. Good, and ease out of that. We can give ourselves a little shake off. So we're just going to finish off with a little bit of a body scan, going from the top of our head all the way down to our toes. I will guide you through this. I'm going to have a quick drink because it's a lot of talking for me. So feel free to do the same. Okay, so once you've had your drink, get yourself in a nice comfortable position. Start to do some breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's relax ourselves down first. And when you're ready to, you can close those eyes down as well. Now I want you to draw your focus inwards. So blocking out our surroundings the best we can, whatever noises, whatever smells, whatever it is that you can sense around you, bring that focus in. And we're going to go through our body scan. So just to remind you before we get into it, it's where we go from the top of our head all the way down to the tip of our toes, focusing on each part individually. As always, just try and bring that attention to it the best you can. But if there are some areas that you feel uncomfortable focusing on, for whatever reason that may be, feel free to skip it or to go back to one that we did focus on, you feel okay about, whether that's for chronic pain, whatever it may be. Just focus on what you can, when you can. If it's an area that you can't or you don't want to, feel free to move over and skip to the next part, or just go back and join back in wherever you're ready to. So let's bring our focus into the top of our head, right onto the top here, in our hair area, and let's focus on that. And each time we're focusing on each area, we're just putting some attention and focus on, and just seeing what's happening in that area. We can move it at the same time, see if that helps, which is what we can do as we come down to our next bit here on our forehead, eyebrows area here. So you can do some movements in the eyebrows and just see how it is, see how things are, just giving ourselves a little check-in with each individual part of our body. Down to our eye sockets now, so you can do some blinking, see how things are feeling. So normally, just as a thing, I can notice a difference between when I do this later on in the day and when I've done it in the morning. My eyes are much more rested. So now in my eye sockets, they actually feel quite nice, quite comfortable. But when I've done these sessions later in the day, they're feeling a bit achy, a bit tired. So it's good to notice how our body feels different parts of the day. in different areas. Moving down now into our cheeks. And into our jaw. And again, like here, I've been talking for the last hour-ish, so it's the jaw area starts to ache a little bit. But if I did this at the beginning of the session, it'll feel a lot more relaxed. So just noticing how your body feels in different parts of the day and in different areas. Let's bring our focus around to our spine, starting at the top, vertebrae here, and just noticing how it is. Obviously, we've just done a lot of movement and stretching in this area, so you can give it a little bit of a wiggle. And it probably feels quite loose. Maybe a little bit achy, but just a little bit looser, that's good. And bringing it down now into our shoulder areas. We can shrug up and down, back and forth. And just seeing how we're moving again. We've done a lot of stretching, a lot of mobility in this area. So they might feel quite good now. Maybe you can give them another check-in at another time where they might feel a little bit tighter. Just notice how it is as we move down our arms now into our elbow area. So we can do a little bit of movement in our elbows, see how that feels. If there's any areas that feeling tighter, looser. We're not trying to solve issues here. We're just checking in, seeing how things are. So move down now into our wrist area, and we can give these a bit of a wiggle. And for me, this is important. Remember just over a month ago now, I had my wrist, so just still checking in, seeing how that range of motion is doing. The pain's gone from this area, but the range of motion is still a little bit less. So there's some work that I need to do personally. You know, without these check-ins that I do, I may not have noticed that it's still not got the best range of motion. So I need to focus on that area a little bit. So again, I'm not trying to solve the issue here, I'm just trying to notice if there is anything that I need to focus on. And you do the same in whatever area that is. Going through our thumbs and our fingers now and seeing how things are doing. Yeah, let's take that focus right the way back up our arms, back into our spine, and we can focus on our chest area now. So we can bring our shoulders back and forth, feel how it is. If it's tight, if it's loose, if it's feeling good. And then let's go around to the back. We can give our spine a little wiggle. Let's see how things are. And then round to our belly. Obviously, this is our digestive system, all that kind of stuff. Is it feeling bloated? Is it feeling good? Is it feeling like you're having any troubles or good parts? We're not just looking at the bad stuff, we're looking at the good stuff as well. And just checking in with the body. So me, I'm feeling pretty good at the moment in that area. Sometimes I get a little bit more bloated than others. So I just need to make sure I'm checking in on my diet with that side of things. Then we go down through our hips. Now, again, if you can't feel these areas, or if they bring you any discomfort, if you can't feel it, just carry on regardless. Try and put as much focus as you can in these areas. But if it feels like it causes you pain or whatever, feel free to skip it. But going into our hips, and you may be able to give it a wiggle or not, but just seeing how it is, putting as much focus as you can in as you go down our upper legs into the knees area. And again, you don't have to move these areas if you can't or you don't want to. Moving down our legs into our ankles. Feet. And finally into our toes. When the focus is down into the toes, what we're going to do, we'll do it all together and I'll guide you through, but we're going to do 3 deep breaths. And each time I want you to imagine you're filling oxygen up from the tip of your toes all the way up to the top of your head. So you're ready. First breath, breath in, big breath. Breathe out. Again, from your toes to your head, breathe in. Breathe out. One more, breathe in. Breathe out, and as you breathe out, you can open up your eyes. and we finished exactly on the hour today. So just a little bit to finish off there. Just give yourself a thank you, a bit of pat on the back. Give yourself a thank you for turning up today, however it is for yourself. And thank you again for joining me today. Hope a great day, or the rest of your day.